Hey guys, so this video is from one of the Bible studies I did. It's from Revelation part 11, where I show you who Wormwood is and show you how the Holy Spirit led me there through the process of making alcohol. This was a pretty amazing revelation, and I think everybody needs to see this. I'm in the process of making a Kamala video right now, and the more you understand about Wormwood, Artemis, and the Whore of Babylon, the more this will all make sense to you. So, if you have not seen this, you should definitely check it out. It is amazing. And be on the lookout for I have a video I am in the process of making right now about Kamala and what is happening spiritually at the DNC. The third angel sounded. This is where it gets deep, you guys. This is where my study went off the rails. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon a third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of this star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters, because they became bitter. Now, I'm going to open this up in the Strong's version of King James. Okay? Because wormwood isn't mentioned a lot, and all it really seems to mean is bitter. So I was digging into this because I wanted to understand exactly what's being said here so I can show you guys exactly what's being said here. And it got pretty crazy pretty fast. So, Wormwood is Strong's 894. Okay, you can see here it says Wormwood. Noun feminine, noun masculine, absinthos. Okay? And I was like, wormwood, that sounds like absinthe. And I know that absinthe contains the spice wormwood. Now I want to point out that this is also a noun in feminine and a noun in masculine. So here we have twin spirits. Okay, keep that in mind. Because what I'm going to show you is absolutely crazy. Now we're going to cover this just so you can see what it does say about wormwood. Absinthos, a bitter plant known as wormwood. Figuratively, what is intensely bitter, grievous, bringing on very sad results. Used only in Revelation 18. So that would be the grievous part, bringing on sad results. The word is of uncertain origin. Okay? Wormwood, absinthe, is given as a proper name of a star which fell into the waters and made them bitter. So you can see here that it also describes it as calamity, which makes sense because we're in the book of Revelation. So, naturally, I went and looked up absinthe. Okay? So here's absinthe, you guys. Absinthe is an anise-flavored spirit derived from several plants, including the flowers and leaves of Artemisia absinthium, grand wormwood. Okay? Artemis. Remember I told you to remember the male and female aspect of absinthos? Because we have Artemis and her twin brother, Apollo. Now this gets deep quick. I had to write a note so I didn't forget to scroll down because I have something down there that I want to show you guys, but sometimes I get hung up in these things and I forget. So, absinthe, which comes from the leaves of Artemis, is historically described as a highly alcoholic spirit. Okay? When they call it a spirit, it's for a reason, and we're going to dig into this too. It is 45 to 74% alcohol by volume. All right? We know 4 and 5 is 9. That's the number of the beast. Okay? And for those of you who don't know, 666 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 9 is the number of the beast. As a matter of fact, I think I have a... This is why I made this thing the other week, but I never showed it because we didn't get there. So let me open it right now. So I can just show you this, guys. For those of you who have not seen the Number of the Beast video, I highly suggest you watch it. But in Revelation 13 it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Notice it says, count the number. Okay? 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. This is called reducing. Okay? This is what you're supposed to do. We're counting. Now, it doesn't matter how you shake it, it's always going to be 9. Watch this. 66 plus 6, which we know is 72, okay? Which we see a lot of 27s, which is 72 backwards, but that's just 66 plus 6. That's 72. 7 plus 2 is 9. Okay, backwards, 27. That's 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 27, and 2 plus 7 is 9. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9. Sometimes we see 63 or 36, and we say that's 3 6s. Well, 3 and 6 is 9. And 9 times anything of value equals 9. 9 times 2, 18. 1 and 8, 9. 9 times 4, 36. 3 plus 6, 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 4 plus 5, 9. Okay, if you want more to dig into this, go watch my Number of the Beast video, and I cover this in serious depth with shapes, the world, you name it, Earth, everything on the Earth, all you name it, it is deep. But anyways, so 9 is the number of the beast, okay? And now if we get into proofs, we have 90 to 148 proof in the US. So here's your number of the beast, and then 1 and 4 is 5. Here's your 58, the rise of the Antichrist. Okay? It's also referred to as the Green Fairy. Okay, that's Artemis. If we scroll down here, which is why I had to put that little note there, which I think I can get rid of this now, or however I get rid of it, I don't even know. Oh, I think I just click this. There we go. To make absinthe, okay, it is prepared from a distillation, which we're going to get into in a minute. The principal botanicals are called grand wormwood, which is Artemis, green anise, and Florence fennel, which are often called the Holy Trinity. Okay? This is crazy. Here is Artemisia ad Cynthium. You can see Artemis is called Wormwood. The Wormwood genus bears the name of the Greek goddess of childbirth, Artemis. So they're straight up telling you, yep, this is what wormwood is. Artemis. Just want to make sure I don't have anything else in here. All right. Okay. If we click on Artemis, we see that Charles Anthon argued that the primitive root of the name is probably of Persian origin, from arta, art, arte, all meaning great, excellent, holy. Thus Artemis becomes identical with the great mother of nature, even as she was worshipped at Ephesus. So, Mother Nature. You can see that they are paving the way for Artemis, Wormwood, to come to the earth right now. Okay? We are worshiping the creation right now. Romans 1:24 and 25 says, "Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves." We're watching that happen. "Who changed the truth of God into a lie." We're watching that happen. "And worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen." So they're worshiping the creation instead of the Creator. Okay? Well, God's creation is the earth and the heavens and everything in between. Well, we have what we call climate change, which just so happens to be CC 33. If we go back to Revelation, we see that when Artemis fell from heaven, a third part of the rivers upon the land. Let me just read it. "And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as if it were a lamp, and fell upon a third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood, and a third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter." So here we're seeing Artemis come back. She's being worshipped through climate change, right? This whole greenhouse gas, this whole earth worshipping ritual. And it's CC, which is 33. 33 is a third. Okay? All these trumpets are being done in thirds. A third part of the sea, third part of the creature, third part of the ships, third part of the trees, but all the grass. Okay? And even in the next one, third part, third part, third part. Okay, this is 33. When Satan fell, I can just do this. We'll switch this one because we don't need this anymore. Okay. Boy, I'm getting into it now. Revelation. Oh, I gotta take out. No, this is right. No, I'm not. This isn't gonna work. Sorry. Let me just do it right here. All right. Sorry. I wasn't planning on doing this, but we're gonna do it right now. But now I forgot what I was trying to show you. Oh, yep. All right, I know now. You can see here that when Satan was cast out. Oh, did I go too far? Yep. All right. Don't pay attention to this. That's not that highlight just never went away. All right. When Satan was cast out, he drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. Here's your 33. Okay, the Masonic 33, a third. Okay, everything's done in thirds. And then, boy, I think it's Zechariah. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's Zechariah talks about how God will save a third for himself. So, here we have Artemis, Wormwood, coming back to the earth. Artemis, who is to be worshipped as Mother Nature. So what this whole climate change movement, what the demonic kingdom is doing, is bringing people's mindset into worshiping the earth and to trying to save the earth. Okay, you can't save the earth. And in the Bible, it tells us that no one can destroy the earth but God. So, not going to happen. Climate change is not going to destroy the earth. Okay? What climate change does is it takes everything that the scripture says is going to happen, famine, lack of water, pollution, because she's going to pollute the drinking water. Okay, all these things that are going to happen are going to happen because they're judgments of God. So naturally, Satan has to come up with a counterfeit version of what and why these things are happening. So that when people see them happening, they will say, oh, it's climate change, and not, oh, it's judgments of God. You see what I'm saying? They're hiding God. Same thing with Project Bluebeam. This hoax that they're going to shine lights up in the sky and it's going to create all these holograms and da-da-da-da-da. No, that's not true. That's a psyop. I have a video on Project Bluebeam. That's a psyop. Project Bluebeam is about your phone screen and your computer screens and how they can send light signals into you to possess you through the blue light in your phone and in your screens. That's what Project Bluebeam really is. Did a video on that, so if you want to learn more about that, check it out. The Bluebeam that everybody believes in is a psyop. So that when things are taking place in the heavens, everybody goes, you can watch, it's already happening. They go, oh, Project Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam. Right? Not understanding these things are prophesied in the scriptures, and what we're watching is acts of God taking place in the heavens, things that have been prophesied in the scriptures, and everybody's writing it off as climate change, Project Bluebeam, da-da-da-da-da. These are satanic influences and ideas that are made to take our mind off of Christ and off of the scriptures. Okay, this is the veil, you guys. This is the matrix. Okay? It's the world that's been pulled over people's eyes to hide the real world from them. And in order to do that, you have to give them an excuse for everything. Thank you very much for posting the videos, you guys. I really appreciate and I'm glad you both made it. I did want to say, let me just take one quick stop right here and say, Wild Olive Shoot, please email me so that we can communicate offline. Because sometimes people come up in the I speak to Ali on a regular basis, but sometimes people will come up in the comment section or something, and I'll want people to keep an eye out for them in the chat or whatever. So if you could email me so we can just talk offline too, that would be great. I would greatly appreciate that. But thank you. And thank you both for being here. I appreciate all you guys are doing. You help so much. And I appreciate everyone that's here. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad to have this fellowship. All right, now, how do they want to get rid of climate change, you guys. Right? They want to eliminate carbon footprints. Okay, I want you to just think about this for a minute. You, fellow human, are a carbon-based life form who makes footprints. So when they tell you they want to eliminate carbon footprint, they're talking about you. They're talking about removing humans. Just like the Georgia Guidestones said to bring everybody, the population of Earth should be down to 500 million. That means that 7.5 billion people have to die in order to reduce the carbon footprint. They're trying to get rid of us. That's what it's all about. This is all making way for Artemis, right? And just like her brother, she is, I told you, the twin sister of Apollo, which if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you've heard this 1,000 times. Artemis was also, like her brother, a patron of healing and disease, particularly among women and children, and believed to send both good health and illness upon women. So she can bring the sickness and the cure, just like her brother. And she's Mother Earth. So think about that. We got to save Mother Earth, right? She's sick. So what's she doing? She's offering the cure, removing the carbon footprint. Her animals include a deer, which we saw a ton of in Leave the World Behind, which I did a whole decode on deer, which is read backwards, which gets into Pan and his pipes and the syrinx, but I won't get into that now. I'm trying not to get a strike. Her animal is a serpent and the goat. This is one of the heads of the seven-headed beast, one of the Satans. Artemis and Apollo. Okay? 2 heads, but 1 head. 2 spiritual entities, but 1. They're 1, but they're 2. Okay? This is why the towers were 2, and now they're 1. Man and female were 2, and now they're 1. This is why. Because Satan mimics God. Adam and Eve are 2, and then they become 1 in marriage. We, the body of Christ, the bride of Christ, and Jesus in the end times, we are 2, but we become 1. Okay, this is Satan's demonic mimicking and counterfeitism of what the Lord does. What is coming that we may measure our carbon? Oh, they're going to have apps for that. Don't you worry. And it's going to go right along with your social credit score. So your carbon footprint will dictate how much time you can spend outside of your house, how much internet you can use, how many days you can go to work, how much you can use your car, if you have to take public transit, how many times you can ride the train. It's all going to depend on your score and how much stuff you're putting out. Okay? Believe it. That's what's coming. So, here is what Artemis is doing. Now, the other 2 ingredients are not quite as important as Artemis, the wormwood. But this is very interesting. This is anise, which is one of the holy trinities. Right here you see green anise. That's where we're at. Anise is a food plant for the larva of some Lepidoptera species, butterflies, and moths, including the lime-speck pug and the wormwood pug. So anise is food for a wormwood moth. Remember the Mothman, right? Wormwood pug. This is absolutely crazy, you guys. This is spiritual wickedness right here taking place before our eyes. Anise was first cultivated in, oh, go figure, Egypt. Huh. Saw that one coming, didn't you? And the Middle East was brought to Europe for its medicinal value. It has been cultivated in Egypt for approximately 4,000 years. Anise plants grow best in light, fertile, well-drained soil. The seeds should be planted as soon as the ground warms up in spring because the plants have a taproot. They do not transplant well after being established, so they should either be started in their final location or transplanted while seedlings are still small. Do you guys see the spirituality in this anise plant taking place that was grown in Egypt? All right. The seeds should be planted as soon as the ground warms up in spring because they have a taproot. They do not transplant well. In other words, once they start growing, they cannot be changed. Just like the Egyptians, when they grew up in Egypt, okay, they can't be changed. You cannot transplant them and take them out of Egypt and bring them into the Lord. They will not transplant well. Once they're established, they're established. So, that is anise. Here is fennel. Now, I didn't find a lot on fennel, but here is what I did find. Fennel was prized by the ancient Greeks and Romans, who used it as medicine, food, and insect repellent. Fennel tea was believed to give courage to the warriors before battle. According to Greek mythology, Prometheus used a giant stalk of fennel to carry fire from Mount Olympus to Earth. Emperor Charlemagne required the cultivation of fennel on all imperial farms. So here we see fennel associated with Prometheus, who is Lucifer. Okay? We see Artemis as absinthe. We see anise as the food for Artemis that is manifesting in this gross moth. Now, absinthe here is absinthe, okay? Absinthe is served through a process requiring a fountain. Now, this is how you're supposed to correctly serve absinthe. And I have a short video that I'm going to show you so that you can see it. All right? Now, absinthe is considered, it's also called the green fairy. All right? Because when it mixes up, which you will see in the video and I will show you, you can see the spirits, the fairies, coming to life inside the drink. All right? Now, connoisseurs of the green fairy say the fountain is the only true way to mix absinthe to make the perfect louche. What is louche? You want to make the perfect louche, you need an absinthe fountain. Well, louche means of questionable morality or repute. a questionable taste, decency, or morality, not reputable, shady. Okay? This is what you're looking to make with the Green Fairy absinthe. If you look at this one here, you can see the Green Fairy sitting on a crescent moon, right? Well, let's go back to Artemis. Okay? She was identified with Selene, the personification of the moon. Okay? The crescent moon is her symbol. Now, she is the Green Fairy, which I've been showing you. She is legitimately Wormwood, absinthe. Now, before I go on, let's show you this video here. Let me turn, it's got little music so you can not be bored while it's playing. Notice it's called I'll put it on the screen and then I'll pause it. Notice it's called Absinthe 83-2. 2 plus 3 is 5. That's 58. You guys, you can't make this stuff up. Let's continue. Alright, you can start to see it clouding up and changing color. Alright? You see how it looks like it's releasing spirits? This is the Green Fairy. This is Artemis coming to corrupt you through the loosh. So, my apologies for those of you who are not keeping up with what I'm showing. And, you know, just as Robin said, I would suggest maybe watching this section again later on. I'm trying to go through it slow enough, but, you know, my excitement and rambunctiousness is yeah, it is poured over a sugar cube with a spoon, but all the videos I found, beans that had the sugar cube also had them not showing the spirits mixing up. It didn't show the Green Fairy manifesting in the bottom of the glass. It just showed the sugar cube melting, and then they stirred it. So you didn't get to see what I wanted to show. This video actually showed what I wanted to show. Notice it says absinthe ritual. Notice the word sin is in absinthe. Alright? Now, since we're talking about alcohol, you guys, don't worry, Robin. There's no. We're all hearing and we take things in differently. There's no need for apologies ever here. So now I am going to show you guys. I've talked about the revelation I received about alcohol and distilling it and how it relates to the human and to people. And I never made the video. And now I realize why, because it belongs right here, right now. So here is what I'm going to show you. Let me shrink it a little bit so that it fits inside this window. Alright, so I can go up a little further. And okay, that fits. Alright. So, remember we're talking about Artemis, absinthe, how you make absinthe, why the falling of Wormwood is such a big deal. Okay, I'm just trying to associate all these things together in one giant pot. Now, distilling alcohol. Alright, what it is really doing is it is removing the spirit, alcohol, from the fruit. Now remember, we are the fruit. Okay? We are the fruit. We are the fruit of the womb. We belong to God. So distilling alcohol removes the spirit from the fruit. Oh, I gotta make this wider. Hold on. Otherwise, it's not gonna fit. Alright, that should be good. Alright. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth." Okay, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." How interesting that the process of removing the spirit from the fruit is called distilling. That is the opposite of being still. Now, here is the process. You take the fruit, which can be fruit off of a tree, apple, orange, grape, whatever, or grains like wheat and rye. Those are also fruits. They're fruit of the wheat plant, right? They're the harvest. That's the fruit of the plant. Okay? Then you add sugar. Say you're taking the fruit, which is us. You add sugar, sweetness, the lies, the deception, to raise the alcohol level, to lift the spirit, right? This is why the modern day church is so lifted up, because they've been fed so much sugar. Okay, their fruit mixed with sugar. Their spirits are lifted. Then they add leaven and yeast, which is yeast, to break it down. Jesus said, "Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees." Okay? Now, when you mix the fruit and the sugar, and you add leaven to break it down, it causes fermenting of the fruit. And that's corrupting it and rotting it and separating, extracting the spirit, which is alcohol, from the fruit. Okay? I hope you guys are seeing the spirituality in the process here. Once fermented and corrupted, the mash, the liquid is what the mash is called, that you just made here, is poured into a copper pot. The copper, which is blue bloods, is used to remove sulfides, which is the judgments of sin. Right? Sulfur rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah. So the copper serpent is used to remove the punishment of sin. So it's okay. Once the liquid is in the pot, a flame is put to it to bring it to a boil, making it tried in fire. Okay, this is the grinding of the millstone. Remember in the lesson of the bread. Now, different parts, different alcohol reactions and chemicals burn at different temperatures. All right? Methanol, which is they call the head, evaporates at 148 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 5 and 8, 58. All right? The rise of the Antichrist. The heads are thrown out as they are poisonous and cause blindness. The blind leading the blind, both shall fall into the pit. So the head of this alcohol process causes blindness. Think about that for a minute, right? The land of the blind, the one-eyed shepherd, is king. He is the head of the blind, just like Christ is the head of those of us who can see. Ethanol, they call the hearts. Okay? It evaporates at 173 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 1 plus 7 is 8. That's 83, or 888, the portal. This is the part of the alcohol that is used for drinking. The heart is desperately wicked. Who can know it? Propanol and fusel oils are referred to as the tail. These evaporate at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. The tails contain flavor content in the oils, which they call essential oils, and can be reused. This gives the tail flavor, so the head will eat it. This is the Ouroboros. So see what's happening here. This is the serpent. The head, right? The serpent eating its tail. The tails can be reused, which means they'll go back into the head. See what's happening here? Now this is what the still is, and I got some pictures and I will show you. The still consists of a pot where the mash is cooked. The vapor then gets transferred down a pipe to a thump keg or a proofer. This is where the water that boiled off with the alcohol is collected, and the alcohol vapor rises back up the next arm. This stage of the still literally thumps as the water is beaten out of the spirit alcohol. Okay, so let me show you a picture. This is the pot. It is cooked here. The vapor rises up and drops down into this. This is the thump keg. Okay? In here, any water that boiled off with the alcohol is going to be beaten out of the alcohol and collect in the bottom of this, sending only alcohol vapor back up into this tube, into the next section. Okay, the next section, after the alcohol is beaten from the water, or the water from the alcohol, it is then brought to the next and final stage called the worm, which is a coiled copper serpent. Here is the worm. Okay, this is the final stage. It comes into this coiled serpent. Okay? This is where the spirit, alcohol vapor, is condensed and crushed into submission. as it travels down the copper serpent. It goes from hot on fire for God, spirit, to a cold liquid submitted to the serpent and ready to drink. This is why it's called a spirit. When you drink, you are opening the door to spirits to possess you. This is why when you can't remember, they call it a blackout, because darkness has entered into you and taken over your body. Okay, so it goes from hot, on fire for God, to cold liquid. Revelation 3:15-16 says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. So because thee are lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So you're watching this distilling process go from hot to cold. Okay? The love of many shall wax cold because of the wickedness that's coming on the earth. This is what happens to us. This is like making the bread, only the satanic version. Okay? Instead of building our spirit up, it is removing it from us. Okay? This is the removal of the spirit from the fruit.